Don't even think about skipping this video. Seriously, what you're about to witness actually happened in a real courtroom. Yes, real people, real emotions, and a real turning point that would shake an entire nation's justice system to its core. All it took was a child, barely 3 years old, to do something absolutely unimaginable. He pointed, yes, pointed, at a police officer standing among a crowd full of strangers. And what unfolded next? Oh, you won't believe it. It will truly leave you in utter shock. Make sure to turn on that notification bell right now. Because what you're about to hear is how a pure and innocent child unknowingly uncovered one of the biggest, most jaw-dropping scandals in modern history. And hey, before we dive in deeper, drop a comment and let us know, where in the world are you watching this from? Globe showing Europe, Africa. It all began on a particularly lively Tuesday morning inside the Central Court of Brazil. To most people, it seemed like just another routine court session. Just another day in the justice system, right? But oh no, this day would go down as one of the most unforgettable moments in the country's legal history. Seated among the usual courtroom crowd was Carolina, nervous, quiet, holding the tiny hand of her 3-year-old son, Gabriel. Gabriel, completely unaware of the weight in the air, sat contentedly playing with his bright red toy fire truck, his birthday present from just days earlier. His big, curious eyes weren't focused on the case or the adults. No, he was captivated by the towering ceilings above him, completely mesmerized by the sparkling chandeliers that glittered like stars in the courtroom sky. Carolina was there to testify in an armed robbery case. She had seen the crime through the window of her small shop 6 months earlier and was now called to share what she knew. With no one to look after little Gabriel, she brought him along, praying he wouldn't be a distraction. After some hesitation, the judge reluctantly allowed it. The room's heavy, formal atmosphere felt like another world compared to Gabriel's innocent presence. While suited lawyers darted across the halls, lost in legal documents and pressure, Gabriel remained in his playful little bubble, happily driving his fire truck along the armrest of his chair like it was a race track. Then the doors creaked open. Security officers and court police, all in uniform, stepped inside in a line, just routine protocol. No one paid it much attention. No one, except Gabriel. All of a sudden, he froze. His toy slipped from his hand and clattered loudly to the floor, breaking the silence like thunder. With a face far too serious for someone his age, Gabriel slowly raised his tiny hand and pointed. There he is. His little voice echoed in the courtroom, slicing through the formality like a blade. Mama, it's him. The room went dead silent. Everyone turned, first toward the child, then to the officer being pointed at. The man's face went pale. He didn't flinch. He couldn't. In that moment, nobody realized it, but this small act, this simple point of a finger, would ignite a chain reaction so massive, it would flip the justice system upside down. The officer? Sergeant Silva. Frozen like a statue. His hands, once calm and steady, were now visibly shaking. Carolina's breath caught in her throat. Judge Antonio Pereira, just moments from opening the session, felt the air shift. Tension gripped the room like a vice. Mama, that's him. That's him. Gabriel repeated louder, unwavering. Embarrassed and unsure what was happening, Carolina tried to hush him, but Gabriel wouldn't stop. His eyes, locked like a laser beam, refused to look anywhere else but at Silva. Silva, now visibly rattled, took a nervous step back, like he was trying to disappear into the walls. Prosecutor Dr. Paulo Marquez leaned forward, his years of courtroom experience setting off warning bells. Something wasn't right. This wasn't the reaction of a falsely accused man. It was the look of someone caught red-handed. Let's take a short recess, the judge said, trying to regain control of the room. Sergeant Silva, please join me in chambers now. Murmurs rippled through the courtroom. Paulo moved quietly to Carolina's side. Ma'am, he whispered, why do you think your son reacted like that? Still wide-eyed, Carolina stammered. I honestly don't know. He's never seen that man before. We're only here because of my testimony about the robbery. The prosecutor narrowed his eyes. Did you ever see the robbers clearly? No. They wore masks, Carolina replied, then paused, her eyes suddenly widening. Wait. One of them walked with a limp on his right leg. Every head snapped toward Sergeant Silva, who was now limping, just slightly, on his right leg as he walked toward the judge's chambers. That was the moment. The switch flipped. Prosecutor Paulo signaled quietly to court security, block the exits. Something huge was unfolding. Within hours, everything escalated. Silva was detained. A special investigative unit was assigned to look into his background, and what they found. It went way beyond anyone's expectations. Bring me every case Silva's worked on over the last 5 years, Paulo ordered. Suddenly, the prosecutor's office turned into a crime scene of its own. Papers everywhere, files stacking up, chaos in every corner. And then it hit. A pattern. A dark one. In case after case, victims described a suspect who limped. Every time, Silva was the first officer at the scene. Every time, he played a central role in the investigation. Carolina and Gabriel were immediately placed under special protection. Gabriel, still blissfully unaware of the chaos he had triggered, played in a secure room. But every time someone mentioned Silva's name, he froze, like he could feel something was wrong. Ma'am, Paulo said gravely, laying out several reports on the table. You need to see this. Pages and pages, each detailing robberies with masked suspects, one with a right leg limp. And it didn't stop there. Investigators found massive cash deposits in offshore bank accounts tied to fake companies. Every deposit? Made just days after each robbery. Past victims were called back in, shown a photo of Silva, without the uniform. Many confirmed it was him. One elderly woman fainted when she saw him. It's him. He was there, she sobbed. He wore a mask, but those eyes. And that limp. I'll never forget. And then the scandal exploded. Other officers began to speak out. One younger cop, voice trembling, said Silva ran the entire scheme. He used insider information to pick targets. Elderly people, shop owners, people likely to keep money at home. Then, he robbed them. And then he investigated his own crimes, blaming innocent people. The media went wild. 3-year-old exposes criminal cop ring, screamed headlines. Central Court was now the center of the nation's biggest corruption story. After 48 hours under interrogation, Silva finally broke. It started 7 years ago, he confessed. He admitted everything, how they used their badges as shields, how they targeted the vulnerable, how they got away with it all for years. And he didn't act alone. The rabbit hole went even deeper. 2 senior detectives and a retired judge were involved. This wasn't just a scandal. It was a systemic betrayal. And it all started with one little boy and a toy fire truck.